Hello, TCI, the Church of Inclusion, Jonathan Refuge, all of our faithful followers from around the globe. We appreciate you tuning in. As most of you know, I am Archbishop Jonathan Brown, or as a lot of my uh, parishioners refer to me as Bishop or Rev. Got a lot of names. Just don't call me late for dinner because I'm really hungry. I I appreciate your prayers. Lately with my health, the next 4 months of my health is going to be a tough one. So the rest of spring and all of summer we'll be dealing with this round that they're giving me. I've got injections, the medications. I'm up to now almost back up to close to 20 prescription a day. I think it's 18 now. A lot of meds. Unfortunately, my body's interaction with some of the meds are causing massive vomiting and puking. And so there's days where I can't even do anything. I just have to sit at a bucket and still running all the church's all of my responsibilities and duties. I don't stop. Still producing the videos. Still meeting with the clients who need our help in our mental health and in our church and the members of our church. So in every aspect of our business and our spiritual aspect, I thank God for the energy to keep going. And as I tell everybody, when you go somewhere with me, I apologize if I got to pull over and start puking. So it's funny because the pain has been sometimes unbearable. And there's a couple of things I want to do, but I want to start off with the scripture that we're going to go over today. And let me unlock my phone here. We're going to be talking about character I love in the Bible. His name is David. David ben Jesse, David, son of Jesse. And David is a Hebrew, the second Hebrew king in the Bible and in the land of Israel. And in the book of Psalms, chapter 142, verses 1 through 7. Here's what it says. This is David. I cry aloud to God. I lift up my voice to God for mercy. I pour out before him for God my complaint. Before God, I tell my troubles. When my spirit grows faint within me, I feel like that right now. I don't know if you guys ever feel like that. It is you who watch over my way. In the path where I walk, people have hidden a snare for me. You ever feel like people have laid traps? Some of them are physically, and some of them are spiritual, some of them are psychological. Sometimes people are just rooting for you to go down. Most of the people in my life have always rooted for me to go away and go down. And, I kind of prided myself on always bouncing back and being like, yeah, not me, baby. I'm still going. But the truth is, the older I get, I now am starting to see as I looked back at who I was, I see why they were betting against me. It was because of me, my actions, and my life. Look and see, there is no one at my right hand, God. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. When I went to prison for the last time, every time I've gone to prison, I'm here to tell you, I got not enough time for what I've done in my life. And every time I went to prison, but this one time, I was guilty of everything I've ever been charged with. The one time I go to prison was my last time. I didn't do anything that I didn't do the crime that I was charged with, but my actions of living and the people around me allowed others to damage and hurt me. So who ultimately is to blame? You see, I was blaming everyone else because I didn't do anything. My actions actually are still to blame. And so I sit here, and as I read through the scripture, it was like, wow, I'm getting hit on every angle. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. This is a scripture that led me to the name Jonathan's Refuge. If you're wondering, this is where the birth of the men right now watching this in the four homes we have, the homes of hope. This refuge was built there. Jonathan's Refuge. Because I needed one. I have no refuge. I promise you, there are times lately where with my health, I'm sitting here going, I don't have any refuge for my health? Where do I go to hide from all of the pain and the suffering? I can't. You can't. So what do you do? Well, what you do is you cry out to God. This is what David said. And he said, "You are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living." Now, think of this for a second. His portion in the land of the living, he's just telling you on one hand, I can't handle it anymore. But on the other hand, he says, I cry out to God and no one cares for my life. So I cry out to you, Lord. You are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, God, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong for me. I can't tell you how many times in a day I pray with the words, God, please take me home. Rescue me instead of from those that pursue me, from my health, from the suffering. Please, God, have mercy on me, for it's too strong for me to bear. I think of Jesus crying out the night before his crucifixion, Father, Father, please, why have you forsaken me? Take this burden from me. Except I wasn't a good man like Jesus, so how dare I ask that? But see, this man was a murderer and an adulterer and a just a brutal. Blood never left his house. Now I can relate. Set me free from my prison, the last scripture in verse 7, that I may praise your name, God. Then the righteous will gather around me because of the goodness of your goodness to me. This is the key right here. Set me free from my prison. You see, everyone's always saying I'm in someone's prison. I got guys in my house I had to go deal with last night at one of the homes, and I got men who are misbehaving, and they don't think it's misbehaving, and unfortunately now one of them's getting hemmed up and dealt with, and it's not a good thing. And we do our best to teach the men. There's a curfew. You're still in prison for 3 years when you get out. You still got 3 years of prison time. They tell you when to get in, when to go out, and if you miss those times, you get arrested and put back inside. Those are rules, okay? Whose prison is that? Oh, it's not mine. Yes, it is. You're in your own prison. Set me free from my prison. My prison is the anger that I have. My prison is, I got guys that come out of prison with not on any drugs, and then they get out and they get on drugs. What the hell's wrong with these guys? You weren't on them when you were in there. Now you're on them. It's crazy stuff. How do you deal with it? We got to have them want to be set free from their prison. It's your prison. I had an anger issue. I had an anger issue. I snapped it in half and said, I'm done. I took my anger and said, "Grr," and I put it on me and said, God, help me to set myself free from my prison. I'm the one putting myself in prison. Oh, my health. I can't work. I can't do anything. Shut up. Wrong guy to tell that excuse to. I got a whole house called the Hogue House. I got a whole home of men that are disabled. Go to my Hogue House and ask one of them, the guy with no hands, Ty Shaw, Tyrex, the gorilla, the beast, the monster. Folks, he has no hands. He is at every function, fishing, climbing mountains. We had to climb the scale of a cliff, and he went. No excuses. His skin is so tight from the skin they had to put on that he tears all the time. He don't care. He's out mowing yards. He's like, I asked someone to grab a saw so we cut a tree down. He went and got a saw. I was coming over, and I'm like, all right, I love you, dude, but I can't put that chainsaw in your nubs, bro. And he's like, all right, well, we need to get prosthetics that I can do it. That right there, that's a man. You want to know what a man is? Go look at Ty Shaw. Go look at TJ. Go look at these guys. By all state definition, board certified. One's on the autistic spectrum. One's, completely almost burned his whole body. And these men have every reason to have an excuse. But see, I don't allow myself to use any of my legit excuses. And they follow suit because they're watching what a man does. And I watched This guy, King David. And here he is, and he realizes the prison is not the world around us or the circumstances we're in. The prison is me, my mindset between these two ears. It's between these two ears that I have all my prison. I am in prison here. Nelson Mandela is one of my favorite people in the world. I have studied him for since the second I heard of him. The second I found out he was in a prison, I started reading everything I could about this man. And then to see his life unfold and be alive and live through that, where he then, as a black man in Africa, South Africa, got freed from the sentence and got out in the whole country. Then in the history, it's all history, right? He smiled while incarcerated. And he didn't deserve to be in there, but he smiled. And here's why: it's the psychological aspect of a man named Viktor Frankl, a famed psychologist. If you've never read his books, you need to get it because you will. I own a mental health firm, so I own the third largest in the state of Washington. Okay. So I understand a little bit about this. I'm an expert in this realm. And Viktor Frankl is my Yoda. Okay. And he was in a Jewish concentration camp in Nazi Germany. And they asked how he got through it. And he said, here's how: because you can control my body, you can control when I eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. You can even control when I die. But you know what they couldn't control? And I said, what was that? And I say, what was that? Because I was just a kid when I was able to meet him with my father, D1. And I will never remember anything other than the expression on his face. I had to go and ask him the next time I saw him what he said again. My dad told me what he thought he said, and it really was what he said. But I had to verify because all I remember is he smiled when he was saying the part of they tell us when to eat. His face, you could see the pain. Like you saw the physical pain when he shared the story of his bunkmate dying, and they both used to pick the sores as they came on their bodies and clean each other's backs and make sure that you didn't live without someone as a bunkmate. You could see the pain until he said, but the Nazis couldn't control up here. So I flew through the fence and I lifted myself above my situation and the circumstances surrounding it. And I freed myself. You see, when I went into prison, this last stint in my life, when I went, let me tell you something about that. I smiled. Here's an old gangster going in. It's like, yeah. I laugh. People are like, "Oh, this horrible tragedy. Best thing that ever happened to me." If I could tell my first wife, thank you, I'd say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I got freed and I was able to get away from all the monetary bondage that I was after the billions, and I had money, and then we were poor, and we had no money, and we were rich, and then we had a lot of money, but we were always poor. And it's like, what? Because we were stupid. I was stupid. Let's have a fancy Ferrari. Let's buy a yacht. Let's do this when you can't afford them. What be that monthly? What be that monthly? You know what I drove when I got out of prison? A Toyota Prius. I could have afforded the monthly on some fancy gig, but now I just bought $102,000 platinum edition F450 dually Ford thing. Is just this got the chairs massage your whole body while you're driving. The passengers and the seats are all massage chairs. It's crazy. You'll find me all the time. Come to the office. Come up here. See me. I'm in the truck sitting there working. It's that nice. Difference is I don't pay monthlies anymore. I just pay them off. I don't pay interest. I'm not a borrower. I'm the lender. I didn't get there overnight, folks. I got there because I followed a path of the king of Israel, this guy named David. I can relate to that man. See, I always had a hard time relating to Jesus. He walked on water. He healed the sick, raised the dead, did all this crazy stuff. Took a basket of fish and multiplied it. Some say it was real. Some say it was metaphoric. I could care less which way you believe or not, as long as you come away with the lesson of how it can impact and change your life. But I had a hard time relating to that. Son of God, half man, half God. But King David just is all man, selfish, greedy. He got a woman pregnant that was already another man's wife. And then when that guy wouldn't sleep with his wife, he tried to trick him to sleep with his wife so then they could pretend the baby was his. And that didn't work. So what did he do? He had him killed, murdered him. One of his number one soldiers. It wasn't even just a soldier of his or a subject. This was like one of his best soldiers. He had him killed. And the amount of blood in this guy's hands, to get his wife in hand in marriage, he had to get 100 foreskins from his enemy. So that means he had to go cut off 100 of the head of their you know what. And I think if I remember the exact accurate number, I think he came back with 1,000 instead. A lot of blood on his hands. I can relate. So here we come to the end, and he takes responsibility. See, in the beginning, it's all, I cry out, please, please, my complaint, my complaint. I don't complain anymore because I realize that's where it's not at. Skip to the end. Stop suffering through the middle of why me? Why am I sick, God? Don't you get it? I'm doing all the good things now. It's not about that, JB. Come on, Bishop. Look in the mirror. You spent 50 years of, 40 years of your life hardcore living. There's a price to pay for everything you do. You know, if you walk around the campus up here at our headquarters, it's slowly coming together. It's really exciting. And then you see the beautiful shrubs and trees and the scenery around me. And if you look over, you can see flowers blooming and different things in different areas. And the side of the hill up there, there's a little beautiful purple in the, I think it's my top left, so probably your top right. There's a purple bush there. And then you got the different things coming around. It's gorgeous. It's blossoming. It's blooming. It's alive. And it's coming together. And it's coming together because I started to learn these lessons early on about understanding. Let's not sit here and cry and complain so much. Let's cry. I know I'm going to ask for mercy. I know my heart's got to do his thing, and God's got his whole world and destiny, and people, everyone, believe you believe or not believe. I don't care. That's why this thing says inclusive, coexisting. Okay. But David's key is he found out he was the problem. It's not your people. It's not your CCO. It's not your mom, your daddy. It's not the person that abused you. It's none of it. You can sit there and say all the reasons why you have health problems, or you can get off your ass and you can go out and figure out how to do it. I sat with a diaper and had to bleed for 2 years, and I could have sat in the house and used that as the excuse. But in those 2 years, with a bloody diaper on a daily basis, I just kept pushing through. That's graphic. I'm not being gross and graphic to be gross and graphic. I'm just telling you a simple fact. 2 or 3 people found out about that. Then the story got out, and then everyone knew about it. And then eventually it became kind of people like, oh my God, is that really true? Yeah, that's true. Now, what that did, I didn't do it for I never wanted someone to know that after the stroke, I had to wear diapers, adult diapers. I didn't want that. But when it came out, people saw what I never did, which was I didn't sit there and complain. I had a little placard on my desk. It's still there. It says, suck it up, Buttercup. That's not to you, by the way. That's to me. Suck it up, Buttercup. And I sucked it up. And in sucking it up, Buttercup, guess what? 3 of the people that were out of the beginning few that heard and saw the story. One of them was a big time investor and said, any man that acts like that guy's got moxie. If he ever does any venture, I'm investing. Made a lot of money because of that man, some would say. But not him. He'll tell you the opposite. He'll say, I made a lot of money because of that man. And so we both say it. And then I can tell you of another man who actually decided to get out of his bed and start actually walking because he was an invalid. But he heard my story and he said, well, this guy can do it twice. Geez, I look like yep, you did. Yep. And I called him one right to his face. And yep, it's provoking. Suck it up, Buttercup. I did it twice. Rehab twice. Had to learn how to walk, talk, eat, drink, crap, wipe, everything. I had to learn how to do it all over again. Just when I got it done the first time, another stroke a couple years later, boom, got to do it again. Do you know how close I was to just saying, I'm good? No, I'm thankful, is what it is, because I realized I am my own prison. So ask God for help to free you from your prison that you are imprisoning yourself in. Set me free from my prison, God. Allow me to take myself and all the pain and suffering, like the Buddha says. We suffer because we allow it. I physically suffer, but I can make it worse by talking about it over and over. If I told you all day what happened this morning, all I would do is trigger chemicals in my body to release more pain and suffering because I'm reliving the trauma over and over. Your brain, just so you know, it doesn't know this. Scientifically, there's 3 universities that did the study of sport athletes. And if you sit there as a basketball player and sit on the court and shoot it, they take these machines and they record your muscles and the muscles firing with a real ball shooting. And then they took the athletes, put them in a chair, and had them close their eyes, envision they're on the court, and then stand up and then sit there and pretend like they're shooting a ball and picking up a ball and shooting a ball, but yet there was no ball. The same freaking muscles fired. So the muscles fire when you think of it. So when you sit there and tell your trauma the second time over, you just fired the same muscles and chemicals to relive the suffering of your pain. So then I get an employee who comes in and says, and they tell me their day 10 times. You just suffered 10 more times for the day that you didn't need it. You hired your stress levels. You damaged your arteries. You have damaged your vascular system. You've added some horrible chemicals to your body that'll make you gain weight, retain water. I can keep going all day, folks. I learned this valuable lesson. I am my freaking own prison. So I and I alone am the captain of my ship. And that, my friends, is what that beautiful man, Nelson Mandela, carried out daily. I and I alone am the captain of my own ship. And it's up here, like Viktor Frankl says. I love you guys. Get out there, do good, change the world with us this Friday at the headquarters for Jonathan's Refuge, TCI, GCS, all up at the 15.64 or 0.5464, I think, acres. Come up, see what we're doing, 6 to 8 o'clock. If you don't know how to get here, reach out to us. We love you all so much. God bless you, especially our family and friends from around the world. You guys mean a lot to me. All of our friends from Ghana, I can't tell you enough your messages. I'm going to get out to Ghana and see you guys. I don't know if it'll be before the end of the year. I think I'll get out to Ghana next year. But I love you. Thank you for your prayers, and I will see you soon. Okay, guys.